The Forgotten Angle Theatre Collaborative brought its intercontinental collaboration with musician and visual artist Charlotte Hug in their production Siaba, Found Among Translations, to the Rhodes Drama Department. Artistic Director of Forgotten Angle, PJ Sabacha, had this to say about the collaboration.
So I mean, collaborations are always, for me, about what we discover in the spaces. So what we discover in the spaces between each other. And I think that, I hope that as a company and as a group of artists and the way in which we approach dance meets that need. And also the way in which Charlotte works. So I think there was a great synergy in terms of the approach and the thinking around creation and performance. And so I think it's different from other dance companies. Forgotten Angle was able to bring its interpretations and its translation of collaboration, of improvisation, of translation to the process.
Siaba, Found Among Translations, delves into how people encounter one another and the relationships that people share with one another.
So, in the same way that collaboration and creation exists in the spaces between people, between artworks, between art forms, so our relationships exist in the spaces as well. So our relationships are defined by what happens between the two of us, and so there's that sense of infect our relationships. And so I think that's quite critical in terms of the piece, because everything is about relationship. What is my relationship to the artwork? What is my relationship to Charlotte? What is my relationship to another body on stage, to the audience, to the light, to the sound? There's so many layers of relationship, and deeply personal relationships.
Charlotte Hug brings a new theatrical element in the signature Son icons to the collaboration, which adds a completely different dimension to Siaba.
The Son icons are music to be seen. They're visual music. And when I compose, when I have an idea, I have at the beginning actually an acoustic vision. So I listen to my inner fantasy of sound, and I do the drawing with both hands. We communicate it. We communicate with both hands, with our whole bodies, with the gestures. So music is all about communication. And I actually want to touch the sound. By drawing the sound, I had the feeling of touching the sound. And touch is such a primal pleasure. So this visual sound, this possibility to touch sound, I want to stimulate also the dancers to be in a real contact with the sounds.
Forgotten Angle aims to change lives through dance, and this piece does not fall short of its aim.
So I think, the first thing that we can do as artists and as dance practitioners, but I think it's all artists, is just to speak and engage sincerely and honestly and openly in our creative relationships, and the way in which we approach content and our representation of ideas. And hopefully in that way we touch people on a deeply personal level or on a deeply visceral level or whatever. And it's that moment of touching that hopefully triggers thought processes, that hopefully triggers some level of reflection. There's no ways we can totally change anyone or anything, but we can be catalysts for change, and we can be catalysts for transformation. So we can light a fire or ignite a spark, or cause a nightmare. Whatever it is that is required to catalyze and to mobilize.
From here, the piece will be going to Infecting the City in Cape Town, and then it will be off to Maputo, and it plans to reach borders beyond the African continent.